Nature does not negotiate. Weather anomalies have always been with us, so they've really been sort of normal even if infrequent. We've always had late snows and late frosts in the spring and a second severe weather season in the fall. A longer cycle includes the Great Depression years that came with drought and dust storms 90 years ago. But this, Derecho. In my 63 years, I've never seen one. They've never been as frequent as in recent years. This one was actually mild compared to the Iowa Derecho just a couple of years ago. These are essentially straight-line, land-based, hurricane-force winds that travel a path hundreds of miles long and wide across multiple states. The December EF4 wedge tornado churned across 4 states just days before this. Highly abnormal, highly abnormal, highly abnormal, highly abnormal. And if you're up on weather stats or just one of the old folks like me, you absolutely remember how much more snow we'd get in the winters.
.80 mile per hour winds. till 3:30. That's another 40 minutes at least. Trying to do. I got my foot on the brake because the car was going backwards. It's getting lighter already.
Now droughts and record heat are the new abnormal, causing fires and water scarcity across the globe, while severe flooding and intense hurricanes smash other areas in what science has long warned about. Irreversible climate change. This is a national security threat. Weather forecasts based on historical weather data are no longer accurate. They knew this high wind event would happen, but not the ha-boob in western Kansas that quickly formed this derecho in north-central Kansas.
Sun's already coming out. Looks like power's out at my house. No surprise. Okay, so there's my internet cable down.
They'd expected gusts up to 75, not 98 miles per hour, which hit Salina hard, snapping thick, old-growth cedars, removing roofs and blowing up some weaker structures.
Yeah, more of the shed roof just peeled back. least three more hours of this wind.
It was the worst damage in the area since the ice storm of 2007, which left thousands without electricity for 2 weeks, and it damaged a much larger area with not only the straight-line winds but lightning caused wildfires and a few tornadoes with forward speeds of 100 miles per hour. Unprecedented. 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 This is real. We can't go back. We waited too long. Climate catastrophe. Refugees have been feeling it for years already in low-lying coastal areas of the world, and we felt it here like never before this year. Again, this is not the new normal, but the new abnormal. There is no effective predictability involved. It is a situation that will only become more erratic, chaotic, and intense. Crop failures will create food shortages and fresh water will be harder to find. It is not a negotiation. Nature does not negotiate. Time is up. What was once predicted to happen in a few decades is now happening in a few years. Electricity will be rationed as coal-burning power plants must shut down. These are national security threats. Solar, wind, tidal and thermal energy must be broadly ramped up while we can. Even these sources still depend on the grid infrastructure that is failing. Infrastructure must be improved. National security is threatened and we are that threat. Kids and grandkids face an even graver future, too dark to even contemplate. So we need to treat it like the security threat that it is on a global scale, starting with our leaders. Fossil fuel burning must end. Now. No more pipelines through freshwater habitat. No more pipelines. Period.
Those who oppose such measures for their monetary gain must be treated as the criminals they've always been.
They are a national security threat. Don't allow them to hold power. Efforts must be ramped up to mitigate what we can, while preparing for a 2-foot rise in sea levels that will force millions from coastal areas. Emergency housing must begin construction. Now. Corporations must not be allowed to own water rights. This is a national security threat. This is a national security threat. Time is up. No sane person wants war, but water and food battles loom. And sane people are not in power. Myopic corporate bots are in power. This is a national security threat. This is a global threat. This is an existential threat. Now. Nature does not negotiate.